and welcome to episode 4 of Petch Pals. Do you know, I get more and more excited as the weeks go on. I still can't believe Ross hasn't cancelled me. Here I am again in my grey dungeon. This is the place where Ross keeps me to do all the act on this work. And welcome and thank you for joining us. This week I have 3 spectacular guests who are going to talk to us all about their journey. For those who are tuning in for the first time and don't know me, I am producer Petch. You will hear Ross talk about Petch behind the camera a lot on Act on This TV. That's me. I do the camera work, I do the editing, I do the social media stuff. I get back to you in all the forums and the Facebook groups. If you think I'm just this hyperactive and eager fan of yours, well, I am. Really, you know, I want everyone to succeed, but I do work for Act on This as well. Joined with me today, we have the wonderful Joe Barker, we have the super talented Maggie Evans, and we have the incredible, you know him as Mark from CastyCast, Mr. Lawrence Russell himself. Guys, how are you?
Great,
Great, thank you.
Do you know, I say this every time, thank you guys for joining me on this show. Like, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have a show. It would just be me here talking to myself, and ain't nobody want to see that. I don't want to see that. So, as we start off all these sessions, if you can just go around, we'll go Joe, Lawrence, Maggie, just because that's how it is on my screen. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of an introduction so that our viewers and listeners can hear your voice for the first time and put voices to names. And a little bit about yourself and how you found Act on This. Joe.
Hello. Okay, so I'm Joe Barker, and I live in the Midlands on a farm in Derbyshire. I always say that. I don't know why.
It's brilliant though. Not many people can say that.
Yeah. Yes. Well, what do I do? So I work with horses in the daytime.
And asses at night.
Yes, yeah. Yes, I've been with horses all my life, and then 5 years ago, I decided to take the plunge and have a go at this acting thing because it's something that I've always been interested in, but it was one of those things that I just never thought that I could do. You know, I didn't go to drama school. I didn't do it at school, GCSE or anything like that. But my partner encouraged me and said, why don't you just take up some acting classes and see what happens? So 5 years on, at the beginning of this year, January, I got my first TV role on Emmerdale.
Amazing. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on.
Yeah, so that... but obviously to get to that, there's been some, heavy work, blood, tears. And I sometimes have to just still keep pinching myself because I can't believe that I've actually done that much in 5 years. I didn't think it was possible.
Wow.
But when I started the acting, I call it malarkey, acting malarkey, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's a malarkey.
It can feel like that sometimes.
Yeah. And I would join in all these groups on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. You know, UK actors, film, TV, all sorts. And that's where I found the Act on TV with Ross Grant. So, and I kept going and, you know, seeing bits and bobs that was coming up. And then there was one day when I thought, do you know what, I'm going to have a bit of that and I'm going to see what that's all about. And that's all about. And I did, and I joined up. And so that's where I found Act on This TV.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then from then, I've met some brilliant people, some really helpful, brilliant people. Funny, supportive, crackers, and it's opened a massive world for me that I didn't think that I could ever get in. It was just one of those things that I just used to, I'd love to try that, and I wonder how they do this, and I wonder how they do that, and
here you are.
Yeah.
First role on Emmerdale.
Yeah, smashing
And
it.
now you're a bit crackers yourself.
Well, I've always been a bit crackers. I think that's why I've fitted in so well.
Yeah,
So,
you have to have something wrong with you to be an actor, I think.
yeah. So that's me. I've probably gone on a little bit too long there. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. Lawrence, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm Lawrence Russell. I live in North London. So I don't know, there always seems like there's fewer act on this people or active act on this people from London. It always seems like the majority of you guys are in Manchester or in the north, which is interesting. So I wonder what that is. But anyway, so I live in North London. I guess I actually found act on this like ages and ages ago when Ross very first started doing the Bulletproof Actor stuff. And I think I did a very early iteration of that.
So for our listeners and viewers who don't know, Bulletproof Actor is a course that Ross released a few years ago, and it's all about mindset. It's scientifically backed, proven strategies to get your mindset in the right place to tackle the acting industry. It's a course that I took. I think I took it alongside you at that first iteration, Lawrence. Check it out. It is going to come back later on this year because me and Ross have chatted about this, and mindset is a key component to whether you make it or break it as an actor, we find anyway. Sorry, Lawrence, continue.
Yeah. So I started off with that, and then I don't know, I suppose I drifted away from it for a little bit, and then I saw when he started doing more podcasts and interviews with casting directors and stuff, that was something that felt really useful because it's all stuff that you can put into practice and knowledge that you can have if you're getting auditions with those people, and also just seeing what they're actually looking for and taking away some of the myths that you hear through other actors who might tell you something that they think is what's going on, but you can actually hear it from the horse's mouth with all of these webinars and stuff. And then did the first TV role fast track on, I don't know when that was, during lockdown. And then, quite soon after that, got my first TV job. And I think probably Act on This is a big part of me also getting up to TV roles because it enabled me to get an agent who was getting those jobs coming through on Spotlight because I was doing the sketches, and then Ross mentioned one of my sketches to Faye Timby, and then she mentioned it to Rachel Freck, and then Rachel Freck mentioned it to a couple of agents, and then I signed with one of those agents. And then started suddenly getting TV roles, which I hadn't done for the last, or TV auditions, which I hadn't done in the sort of 10 years I'd been out of drama school. So
it's crazy how small the world is, really, isn't it? Especially in the acting industry. And all you have to do, we had Joe Wilkinson on once, and he just released one sketch on YouTube. Didn't get many views at all, but one of the views he did get was Ricky Gervais. And now he works with Ricky Gervais a lot. Yeah. So
just goes to show, doesn't it? It's, you just don't know who's watching you, and
exactly, yeah. No, that's amazing, Lawrence. Thank you. And Maggie,
hi there.
Saving the best to last. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started off in a completely different world. I was a head teacher in a primary school.
I'm going to have to start doing this now.
Yeah, you have to watch it. Put you on detention.
Not again. I'm already in a dungeon. I don't need detention.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Hardcore stuff. And then, I thought things changed in education a lot. I mean, I did kind of do stuff like drama and music with the kids and that, but things changed and it got squashed out of the curriculum and everything else. And my son, who was at uni, said, "What do you want to do? What would you do, Mum? If you were dying tomorrow, what would you wish you would have done?" And I said, "Oh, I'd like to be an actor, but I'm too old now because I'm 60." And he said, "No, you're not. You're not too old. Just do it." So I didn't know anybody in the industry, and I came across Act on This, which is, for anybody who doesn't know anybody in the industry, Act on This is a wonderful, wonderful thing to be involved in, because all of a sudden you get to know casting directors, you get to know who people are, you get to network with other actors, So, you know, absolutely brilliant. And then I did some training. I went to drama school part-time at 60
Wow.
down in London. And then here I am. And then I got my first TV role last year, which was amazing.
Fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. And I got quite a nice role with David Tennant in an upcoming drama, which is going to be aired later this year. So yeah. So amazing.
I've been checking that out on IMDb, and it's in post-production now, so we know it's there.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Wow.
I know. I can't wait. I'm a bit scared, I have to say.
Oh,
you know, the first time you actually see yourself on you know, I'm thinking, oh shit, was I good? Was it, you know?
Well, let's ask Joe and Lawrence. Joe and Lawrence, you've both just had your first TV roles. Well, Lawrence, yours was a bit earlier on. How did you feel seeing yourself on the screen for the first time?
It was weird. I sort of feel like it was a semi-anticlimax, because with doing lots of stuff online and then doing short films and stuff with friends and things, I saw myself on a screen, and then I don't think I could even watch it live. So then I was just watching it on catch up, and I was like, oh, this kind of just feels like I'm watching something that I've made. It's like, oh, this is, but then you do get the nice thing then of other people going, oh, I just saw you in such and such. I think that was then the reality of like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of, yeah. But yeah, the actual, I think the rewarding part was the actual like doing of it on set and realizing like you were meant to be there. It didn't feel like horribly weird. Particularly with EastEnders, which was my first one, there was it was just during lockdown as well. There was just 3 of us on set, and the director, and then like the crew all around the set, and it felt very like nice and chilled out. And they just sort of went through it, and it just felt like just ticking over, like they've done this 1,000 times. And yeah, so that was great. And then and it all sort of cut together nicely, and it looked good. So it was quite.
It was a fantastic scene. I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, it was a nice first one to have. Yeah.
Joe, what about yourself? Seeing yourself on Emmerdale for the first time?
It was really weird, really strange. The whole process for me was really strange, because when I got the invitation to do the self-tape, because everything, it was January. It was the second week in January, and my goal for this year was to bloody get that first TV credit.
Yeah.
And so, but you know, you say it, don't you? And you go through all the motions, you make your lists, and you do blah blah. And then when it came in, I was like, when it said Faye Starring invited you, you know, wants to, and I was like,
Faye Starring is the casting director for Emmerdale. Sorry, I'm going to keep interjecting things like that, just fine. Because some people who might catch this for the first time, they don't know who people are. We're here to educate.
So I was just sat watching TV on this Thursday night, and I flicking through my phone. You know what it's like? You sit there, don't you? And you're always looking to see if there's emails coming in. And then when I read this one from my agent, and I was like, huh? And then I was like, ah. And I said to my partner, fucking hell. I was like, can I swear?
You can say too late.
I was like, fucking hell. And it was like, it was weird. And so I did it the first thing the next day, because I have a friend that's really, really good with me. She drops everything and she comes and reads for me. Yes. And so I know, you're a really good friend. So anyway, she did that, and I did it. And I sent it off, and I was excited, but I never thought for 1 minute I would get it. I was just so excited about doing the audition in front of a ITV casting director. That was the main thing. But once I'd done it, it was like, well, done it, but that's it. And so I played it right down in my mind. And then by the Monday tea time, Archie had rang me, and I was like, fuck off.
Where were you when he called you?
I was at my niece's house, and again, when he called me, I just like, "Hi, are you all right?" I wasn't like, I just wondered what he wanted, and he went,
"Please don't drop me! Please don't drop me!"
Yeah. It's all like when you've only gone and got that job, and I swore at him, and I just kept swearing and swearing.
Not going to call you back after that.
No. It was really weird. So, and then I was dead excited. Then I went to do the job, and I enjoyed it, loved it. But it's so like that. Everybody's there just doing the job. Everybody turns up at the studio, and they all know one another. Everybody was really nice. They all looked after me. It was dead good. And there was me, and I felt like a little girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, like that. I mean, I wasn't doing that. I was inside. I was like, oh. And then I did the job, and everybody's like, right, see you, bye. And they all went, and it was like, oh, it's dead normal for these people, you know. And then it was, I was on a high, then it went steady. And then when it came out the other week, it went up again. Honestly, it's such a roller coaster, but it's fantastic. I mean, I've lived my life on a roller coaster. Well, obviously riding horses all my life, that's like a roller coaster. So I'm pretty used to the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
But seeing it on telly, I was like, I'm not a fan of watching myself back. I do it because you learn from it, don't you?
Yeah.
But I'm not one that goes, oh, play it again. Oh, I like the way I did that. It's usually like, oh my God.
Is that what I look like? Is that how I sound? What am I doing with my eyes? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, so the whole thing it's been fab. But at the moment, I'm not high, I'm not low, I'm just a bit, I'm not flat. It's just.
Poor show blues.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of good self tapes last week, two in 1 week, which is fab. But I've not heard anything, but now I'm just coasting along a little bit. But I do keep asking the universe, and I'm, done all my emails today and all the rest of it. You just keep going, don't you? Just keep going.
Yeah, we do.
Going. So it's all very exciting. This has made me excited just talking about
talking about it. So yeah, Maggie, I think the consensus there is nobody really likes watching themselves on the telly.
It's going to be strange.
It is
really, really strange.
Weird.
And it's not like when you do theatre. If you've done theatre, you don't get that instant gratification of the audience giving you a round of applause and that rush of adrenaline and that serotonin release. Like that doesn't happen. But what you do get is recognition from people on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you hang out online. People will gravitate towards you and congratulate you, and
well, that'll be nice. I tell you what though, I don't think people will recognize me, because by the time the makeup department had finished with me, I mean, I was playing a professor, kind of a real person who was still alive today.
Yeah.
And very RP accent, very kind of.
Wow.
And by the time they'd finished, I thought I didn't even know myself, Crikey, is that me? So I'll be saying to everybody, that is me.
That's actually me.
Just in case you don't know it's me.
I love it. I love it.
Can I just say one more thing? What you said,
no, but you're going to say it anyway, so it's fine.
I like what Lawrence said. Is like, when you do the filming and you come away, and then it's put together so well, isn't it? Obviously, it is, because it's on TV.
Primetime TV, yeah.
Yeah, but when I actually saw it, I thought, oh, aren't they good at what they do? Of course they are. But do you know what I mean? It's just a very surreal experience, I found.
Do you know what? I give full props to the directors of all these shows, all the crew, and people who don't get shouted out enough, I feel, just because I am one, is the editors. If you watch something and you don't notice the passage of time, you don't really clock on that the shots changed or anything like that, that is editing done very, very well. and it's very easily overlooked because you don't pay attention to it. You know bad edit when you see it.
Yeah.
You go, oh, that was wrong. That jarred a bit. But if it doesn't jar and you go from start to finish and it's perfect, that's a really good job of the editor. So shout out to the editors.
I wasn't in the same scene I wasn't in the same shot as who I was talking to because it was COVID time. So I was talking to a tennis ball.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
God.
Yeah. So
Clever,
that was
incredible.
So clever. So let's get into this then. I think we can safely say one of the reasons why you all got your first TV role is because of first TV role Fast Track. Am I wrong in saying that?
No,
I think it's. I think it was incredible. Really.
I mean that alongside other things as well, but I think having the knowledge that first TV role Fast Track imparts is a brilliant sounding board, starting off point.
Yeah.
Joe, you said you didn't think it was going to work for you. Maggie, you thought you were too old.
Yeah.
When I did it, because I went through the course as well, I literally said, and I've said this on many occasions when Ross has asked me about it, I said, I'm going to do it to prove it doesn't work. And it worked. And it works. So let's talk a bit about the mindset. Where were you when you first started it, and how did the course transform that? Whoever wants to take that question.
Yeah, I'll start. I think, first of all, it gave me a total system, really.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it gets you to focus on yourself as a product. We are a product, so it's homing in on what roles could I get cast in. I need to kind of think about myself as a product and market myself as a product, and think about the day player roles that I'd fit in with and all that type of thing. And then it's things like, well, how do I present myself? How do I write to casting directors? Am I doing it right? Do I look professional? So it gives you all that. It gives you a system to really look at yourself and think how you can best present yourself.
Yeah.
It gives you the resources. I mean, I didn't know any casting directors, so for a start, it suddenly gave me a whole load of resources of people to actually write to and what they were casting. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing resource. It was incredible.
When did you get past the I'm too old to do this? When was that switch for you, Maggie?
I suppose when I got in my 50s, obviously I was heavily into another career, so I didn't have time to think about it. But it was only when I started thinking, you know what, I'm not into this career anymore. It's changed, and what would I wanted to do? And I was 60, by that time. But I've been acting, 3.5 years? So it's amazing.
God, yeah.
In 3.5 years.
Bloody hell.
It's possible.
Oh, keep swearing.
So what would you... Sorry, carry on.
But it was having a system to work through and to think about how I was presenting myself.
So what would you say to anybody watching this now or listening to this on the audio experience if they're going, yeah, but I'm too old, it's not going to happen for me? What would you say?
You know what? It is, I know this sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late. And if you're passionate and you've got a dream, just bloody go for it. And I kind of get a bit emotional when I'm talking about it, because I really want, especially people of my age, to feel that,
Yeah.
Was it what one of your kids said that tipped you over the edge then? For
oh God, yeah,
Was it them or was it your own personal
Yeah, I was thinking, wait till you see me on TV, just wait.
No, but when they said you should go for it, was it them that made you decide, right, I'm going to go for it because they think I should do it, or was it yourself?
My son. It was my son. I mean, he was at university at the time, and he was doing a degree in film production, as it was, but and that's obviously it's very hard for them to get work as well. Obviously, same industry. But he said, just do it. What have you got to lose?
Exactly.
And I think that's it. What have you got to lose?
I love that question that he posed of if you were to die tomorrow, what do you wish you would have done?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I'm going to use that going forward to everyone now.
Yeah.
That's really amazing and so inspirational as well. We have on Act on This every week. We do bring on the biggest writers, directors, casting directors, producers, actors in the industry. And one question that comes up time and time again from members of Act on This, because they do get a chance to jump on and do a one-to-one Q&A with them at the end of the call, is and it is usually women of a certain age going, how do I make it? How do I make it? Because there is that mindset there that once you hit a certain age, and for women it is harder, they think that it's never going to happen to them. So hearing your story there, Maggie, you should just give a lot of people a lot of hope.
And actually, and I mean this with all sincerity, I think actually my age has been an advantage.
Yeah.
Because I think there's less people in my casting bracket.
Exactly.
So, like I have some really good friends. I think actors are the most supportive people I have ever come across. And I've got some really good friends who are much, much younger than me. And I get more auditions than them. And it's not because I'm any better, because they are superb. It's just that there's less of me.
No, it's true. So, I think every day, thousands of actors quit. Every day, like a lot more of actors will quit. So if you can hang in there, the longer you hang in there, the more opportunity you're going to get. Because drama school keeps churning out all these young actors. I say young, like I know people of an older generation can go there as well. You've even proven that as well, Maggie. But it's usually like, I'd say 18 to 25. And they keep getting churned out. But after so long, it's not like drama school anymore. It's not safe. They're not going to get roles just because the teacher likes them or whatever it is. They're going to drop off. So the longer you're in there, the more chance you have of succeeding. But yeah, people of that kind of generation, the parts are still there. They just need people to fill them.
Yeah, that's true.
Jo, what about you? What happened with your mindset? How did it change?
Well, just like Maggie said, I mean, I've competed horses all my life, but that's where I've worked, and that's been my career. And I've competed horses all my life, and I started to fall out of love with the competition side of it. I mean, I still teach now, and I still ride, but I'm not doing competition because I'd started to fall out with that. Lots of political reasons, and as you know, and I won't go into that. But because I've got older, and you see things differently, don't you?
Yeah.
And things that I probably would have turned a blind eye to, 20 years ago, I don't now. So anyway, I'm going on one. Sorry. So I started to fall out with the competition world. But I knew I wanted to do something else. And me and my partner, we're always, we're always talking about actors and the production and we still do, always watching documentaries on filmmaking, and we're just both really, really interested.
Yeah.
But that's all I've ever done. I've just talked about it. And then because there was a bit of a lapse with my competition riding, it gave me room to think about something else. That's how, Maggie, how you were saying, you started, fall out of love with teaching, and then it gives you, there's a bit of an opening there for my mind to go into something else.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so that's what I did. And my partner said, why don't you give this acting class a go? So I did, but I didn't have any aspirations at that time. I just wanted to go along and see what it was about.
Yeah. And
so that's what I did. And for the first 2 hours after the class, I couldn't speak. So I was like, Oh my God. These, and like you say, Maggie, everybody's really supportive,
Fabulous,
really encouraging, and a bit wired, a bit out there, and I like it. And I was like, the energy, and I love the energy, and that was in the early days. And it's just snowballed. And then being encouraged and supported by other actors and of all different ages and all different backgrounds, you start to think, hang on, I can do this.
So do you remember a time when that change happened in your mind? When you went from, I'm just going to give this acting malarkey a go, to I can do it. I can get on TV.
Yeah, I suppose when I think about it, we're in class. The teacher at the time, he'd sort of we was doing this scene, and he said to me at the end of the class, "You're really castable," and I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" Because I knew nothing. All I know is how to ride horses. That's it, and shovel shit. And it said, "You're really castable, and you're at a good age," because I was 45 at the time, and you're very natural. You've got this naturalistic way, because obviously I've had no training, so I was just like, I'm talking to you now. That's how I am, sort of thing. And I came home that night, and I was like, he can see something. Maybe I should try and see something, And I suppose it was from then on. Then I went on to a casting page that the Nottingham Actors Workshop do, because that's who I started with. And then I got an audition for a company in Manchester, Chinwag Film Company, with Beth Rowlands. And I got it. I got the gig, and it was a paid gig. So my first gig was a paid gig.
Nice.
And and then I've done loads of films for her since. And I'm still in contact, and still doing stuff. And it's just snowballed. And like I keep coming back to Maggie, like you say, everybody's so supportive and
wonderful.
helpful. And and like I said,
and I don't know how you guys found it on set, but again, for people who are watching this, it's just a surreal experience when you're suddenly confronted with people that you see on telly.
Yeah.
And but the thing I found was, how you can be with some really kind of big actors, and you're nailing it, Maggie. Go on, they are. It was so nice.
Yeah.
So nice to me. And I think that's part of the industry. I think I haven't come across any kind of negative vibes from anybody. Everybody's been so supportive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Lawrence, you said before you did first B-roll Fast Track, you was in it for how long? 10 years, did you say?
10. Was it? Yes, I graduated 2010. And then I think the Fast Track was 2020, wasn't it? That one during lockdown. Yeah. So I think just prior to that, I'd had that situation with casting director seeing the sketches and then getting a new agent. So I sort of had that lined up. And then I think with the Fast Track, I think, like people were saying, it just gave you a bit more understanding of how emails should be written, what you should be targeting, what you should be saying, which shows are on in which locations, how often a week they film. And kind of that was interesting as well, because I was like, okay, strategy wise, like I should hit maybe the ones that are filming more frequently first, because I've got more of an opportunity to get in with those straight away. I emailed Wayne Lynch at East End BBC casting for EastEnders.
Just if you listen to this now, Wayne Lynch has left. I think today was his last day, but he was the casting associate of Julie Crampsey at EastEnders.
Yeah, and it wasn't straight away I got a response back. I don't know if he even actually responded. So I think it was probably a balance of my email might have done something. It might have also been my agent doing the work as well. Because also the first thing I auditioned for, I think they cut that part.
Oh,
and then actually my agent then resubmitted me for a different role using the self-tape that I did for that first role. And without having to audition for it, I got offered it without having to audition for it. Because I auditioned for a vet role and did a whole different scene. And then he resubmitted that audition and for a nurse scene. And he was like, yeah, we'll have him in. And I didn't audition for it. So I mean,
it's kind of the same role, isn't it? Instead of working with animals, you're working with people.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing, because I'm not great with like needles and blood and stuff. And my first scene was drawing blood from like a main character. And I was like,
excellent. Did you actually have to draw blood as well, or was it all?
No. So yeah, fortunately, also particularly because it was lockdown, I was like, thank God for that. It's like there's nobody there, so that isn't happening. But yeah, that was a lot of like, I had to do a lot of exposure to like needles and stuff for a little bit in the build up.
Oh God,
amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So guys, for the people listening to this, and if you are listening to this and we have the training available, please head over to actonthis.tv/first role. That is actonthis.tv/first role, and see if the enrollment is still going. And if it is, please click and join in. You can see Joe and Lawrence's testimonial on that page and get a bigger deep dive into their kind of story and how First TV Role Fast Track helped them. If you're watching this bit down the future and it's not available, it'll just come up saying no place is available at the moment, but keep checking and stay on Twitter and things, because we will be releasing it a bit further on down the line as well. But yeah, for the people who are listening to this, without giving any secrets away, what did you like most about First TV Role Fast Track? And what would you say to people to if they should do it or not? Whoever wants to take that one first.
I think for me, it was the emails and getting the clarity of what should be in your email, how long it should be, what you should be saying. I think that was really useful. And I think as well, sometimes it's just like the energy of seeing all these other people who have put this into practice and done it. You start to think, oh, maybe it's possible then. And I think that mind shift on its own is a huge factor in getting you those jobs and those roles, and sort of being around all those other people with that energy of we're going to do this now. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
for me,
sorry, go on, Joe. You go first, love.
Are you sure? I'll forget if I don't. No, the emails really helped me to get it structured and to be professional but friendly and not too formal and stiff. And what really helped me, it reminded me that I can just be me. And I don't have to be anything else than what I am to sell myself. Does that make sense?
Totally, yeah.
With the headshots, how natural to be, and to be honest with yourself of whereabouts you are in the industry.
It's exactly what Maggie was saying at the beginning of this, that you are your own product and you've got to be able to market yourself as such. You can't be something that you're not.
Yeah.
People want to be something that they are, but to start off with.
You can't sell, people do sell dodgy products, don't they? But if you, that's mean, if you're an honest person, you're going to want to market yourself honestly.
Yeah.
Because how embarrassing is it for everybody involved for you to turn up to an audition or do a self-tape or what, whatever, and you just aren't what you're selling.
Exactly.
What a waste of time, money, and
Yeah. I agree. And with what you both said, I think it's the email system, you know, the kind of, that was superb. And it's not just how to present yourself in an email, it's creating a little system for yourself so you can monitor what works and what doesn't work. And I think that's really important. And actually, this is gospel truth. Before I came on here, I emailed 6 casting directors, and I know that 5 of them opened my email. Isn't that wonderful?
Boom. And we tell you how to do all that in the course.
Absolutely. But it's that creating that way of looking and seeing what works and what doesn't work, so that you can tweak things if you need to.
I think it really is shifting your mindset from I'm an actor to I'm a business.
Yeah.
I am a business, and I'm going to treat my acting career as a business, and the product that I am selling is me. And once you can make that mind shift and keep active on that mind shift, then, you know, nothing is going to stop you. How have you found life after first TV role, Fast Track? Obviously, you've all had your first TV roles now. How's life now?
Well, for me, I feel I have got much better quality auditions.
Excellent.
It's like it's like a door is opened. You know, I found on my acting journey, there's always doors that you face, and you have to open one. The first door is getting onto spotlight in the first place, and then you've got to open that door, and then you've got another door to open.
Yeah.
And now I feel as though I've opened the door onto better quality auditions.
Amazing.
You know, I'm hoping to open the door so I can book some of them, but hey. But yes, it's you know, so it's given me that. It's given me that, and it's that's really
I
really
feel
great.
the same as that, Maggie. I've felt.
Has Joe crashed?
More confident in not just myself, but more confident. Oh, have I crashed?
You're back. It's fine.
It's all right.
Very dramatic pause.
Yeah.
Well, I was really just repeating what Maggie said, because she seems to be saying a lot of good things tonight. So I'm just going to keep saying, I agree with Maggie. Not Maggie. But no, I do. Better quality auditions. And I feel confident that my face has been out there now. I think the casting directors that I write to and my agent is in contact with, I can confidently say, you know, I've worked on ITV now.
Brilliant.
Even that it was a very small role, but
there are no small roles, only small actors.
No.
Because of that, going right back to what we was on about at the beginning, I felt like I was on screen for the whole episode. And I wasn't, but they'd done it so well. I thought, God, I've took over.
That's brilliant. But, Lawrence, what about yourself? What's life like now?
I think it was a really good like kickstart to things.
You're crushing it at the moment. You've just done a feature film and a BBC Three Mood, is that correct?
Yeah. So Mood my episode Mood is out now as we are talking on March the 24th. So it's the series is out at the moment. I think it's all available on iPlayer. My episode 2 is out a couple of weeks ago, but I think I auditioned for it, I think probably a year before, a couple of weeks that it just came out. So I was like, wow, that has taken a long time to come around. So yeah, that's felt weird that I did that so long, because I did that very close to, I got the part very close to after filming EastEnders.
Amazing.
And yeah, I think the thing now is trying to keep yourself clear mindset wise in terms of whether things are happening or not. I'm sort of testing out different things now, like trying to put myself back in the scenarios and places and things that I was doing when things were sort of flowing again previously.
Well, that's the other question I was going to ask you guys. Have you gone back to First TV World Fast Track since completing it? Have you gone over any of the lessons again?
Yeah, I do all the time. All the time. I mean, I'm constantly checking on the database on the for the addresses, email address updates,
Mm-hmm.
and constantly checking out the videos, what videos of the masterclasses have gone up, what casting directors. Yeah, using it all the time.
Amazing.
It was the best. It was the best course I've ever done. It's definitely without a doubt.
Oh, fantastic. What about Lauren and Maggie? Have you guys gone back to it at all? Like doing the mindset course or anything like that?
Yes, I think you know, you can get a bit sloppy. You can do something and you can go through a process and then you forget little bits and you can get a bit sloppy. So you have to kind of keep reminding yourself. And you know, so very often I'll go back to that TV track booklet to just look back and say, did I write it like this last time? You know, just keep reminding yourself of the procedure, I think, really. Because you can get a little bit complacent.
Yes.
So it's kind of keeping yourself on track. So definitely it's really useful.
Fantastic. What about you, Lawrence?
I don't know whether I think I must have done. I can't think specifically what I've looked back at. Definitely the database. That's incredibly helpful. I think I've definitely looked back at some of the, not very recently, but looked back when I was adding like other bits and stuff for showreel at all the different casting types, which is one thing the guys go through, like the different day player roles that come up frequently on continuing drama. I've definitely used that. And I think again the email structuring and wording of things that worked. And then there was also like there's a really good webinar with the guy who's done the series of the Bay.
Dan Ryan.
Dan, that was
David Carpenter.
That's it. Yeah, and that was really interesting when that was all sort of broken down on when he emailed people what he said, what the different like shifts and changes were along the way to then getting that role. So I think it's really useful to see stuff like that and go back over the first TV or fast track, because like Maggie says, if you feel like you've perhaps like dropping little things that you've forgotten about, it's good to realign everything.
Well, this is it. Once you buy the course, you have access to that for as long as Act on This is around, so potentially a lifetime. It'll always be there and it'll always be relevant. Ross Grant, our commander-in-chief, Ross Grant, he created the course and he still uses it, the things that we teach to this day. As of Tuesday, he was in another TV show called Then Barbara Met Alan, playing a presenter of all things. And if you go through the course, you'll know why that's ironic. So it still works. It still works. And people do get lazy and complacent, and I'll hold my hand up. I do that as well. And when I get to that point, I have to go back over mainly like the mindset module that we've done, get back into the right mindset, and over some of the other ones that go, right, I'm ready to kickstart my career again. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, it's been
good. Nice, really nice.
One question I ask all of my guests before we log off: what Act on This feature, so not the first TV role fast track, Act on This feature, would you has either had the most impact on you or you would recommend to somebody else?
I would say the community of Act on This is just amazing. And you've always got access to those people, and to you can see how their journey is going, and I think that is just a tremendous resource. And like the people who've done the fast track TV program, I'm still in touch with them, and I can see other people who are doing the fast track TV program, so you can watch their journey. And I think that's amazing. It's a wonderful resource. All those people, that you can keep in touch with.
We're a family. That's Fast and Furious, isn't it? But we're a family.
I like the webinars. Do you call them webinars or masterminds?
The webinars, masterminds.
Yeah.
Which particular one though, Joe? Let's get super specific.
Oh my goodness.
Which particular one?
Well, right, which one? I like one of the many. I love them all. Dan Ryan from the Bay.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved that one. I thought it just made everything so normal and down to earth, and like, yeah, you are going to be nervous and this is going to happen and you are normal. It was just made everything so, yeah, I enjoyed that.
And so lovely. He was in my TV.
He was.
Oh,
Dan Ryan.
And David Tennant. You know what I mean? God.
Maggie's just smashed it. I mean,
she has.
David Tennant wasn't in my scenes, but Daniel
yes,
Ryan
he was. Don't tell it. Until it comes out, Maggie, he was in it.
Yeah. But you know the Chris Hitch, is it Hitchin?
Chris Hitchin.
Yeah, that was another real good, down to earth, solid talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, all the casting director ones, they're all brilliant.
So all of them, but Joe would recommend Dan Ryan and Chris Hitchin. What about you, Lawrence?
Yeah.
I think, well, for me, the ones I always pay particularly close attention to are the casting director ones, because I think that just helps really set you up, knowing getting an understanding of them and perhaps what they're looking for in the room and in emails. And that's like, there's vital information in there that you can use to your advantage. I think the one I would pick out as my favorite is probably the Babu Cisse one, because that
comes
just
up time and time again.
Yeah, I think, everybody says about that, because that was just really good in terms of positive mindset, his outlook on stuff. And there was some great tips in there as well. And that was one I've listened back over 2 or 3 times actually. And his because he even said something like, things shift when you shift.
Yeah,
that was, and I say that in my head sometimes as well. It's sort of like there's a bit of a quiet period. It's like, right, come on, let's find these things,
shake it up a bit,
are working, and let's go back to doing those.
Brilliant.
The Babu one's my favorite.
No, fantastic. Because we've mentioned Chris recently, I want to leave with a piece of advice Chris gave me when I had my first TV role. I was sitting outside Media City ready to go into Coronation Street, and I was looking at all my messages and things, and Chris sent me a private message and he said, take a minute, sit down and enjoy this moment, because you will never have this again. This is your first ever TV role. Everything you have worked so hard for in your life culminates right now. And if you can take in everything around you, taking the sight, taking the smell, taking the sound, and whenever you're feeling frustrated, put yourself back into this moment, and you will know why you were doing what you were doing. So Chris, thank you. I'll never forget that. So yes, please guys, if you're not dying of COVID like Joe,
I can feel this tickle coming up here. So.
It's not COVID. We're safe. Guys, if you are listening, every time I start,
the horses start keeling over.
I know. It's all the dust I've contracted over the years.
I'll try and wrap it up again now. It's a good job this doesn't get edited, isn't it? So, guys, you have heard it from the horse's mouth in Joe's kind of profession. That first TV role, Fast Track, it does work. And these 3 lovely guests here are here because they have booked their first TV roles. So it doesn't matter of your age, your sex, or anything that you think is holding you in your way at the moment. Let's break down those limiting beliefs and get you that first TV role. Please do follow my fantastic guests on Twitter. We have Joe at Joe Claire Joe.
Yep.
We have Lawrence at Lawrence Russell, and we have Maggie Evans at Maggie Evans 4052 on Twitter. Please go support.
That's sorry.
It's not all about you at the moment, Joe.
Don't get this from Graham Norton, do you?
I know, right? Go support everything. Go support everything that they're doing. Go see Joe's seen in Emmerdale. I'm sure she's got it up on Twitter. Go support Lawrence with everything that he's doing with Mark at Cast and all his fantastic sketches. Shout out to your beautiful, brilliant wife as well, who is following you in the sketches. Do you want to give her Twitter handle a shout out?
Yeah, so she's at Rebecca McClay, which is MCCLAY.
She does a brilliant sketch of a receptionist at a casting audition. Very funny. Go support Maggie, because I'm sure when her TV role comes out, we're all going to go and watch that. She's going to announce it on Twitter, so we can all doing that. Please follow me at Petch. Chuffing hell, Joe.
So can I get a drink? Can I just get a drink?
You can, yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Follow me at Petch_act on this. She's still copying in the background. That's where I do all my act on this work. I'll follow my personal Twitter account at Lee Petcher. Follow us here at Act on This TV for all updates of everything that's going on at Act on This. If you are listening to us on the audio experience, thank you so much for getting towards the end. Please leave us a comment, a 5-star review, and share it with people who might need to hear this, who are looking for their first TV roles and you think that this might help them. If you are watching on YouTube, you know what to do. You smash that like button, you hit the subscribe, and you hit the notification bell and stay up to date with everything that's going on. If you are liking Petch Pals, if you're still finding value from this, please drop us a comment below. If you want to hear a new subject, if you've got ideas for subjects that you want to talk about, drop it in the comment below. If you have got some critical feedback, don't just be nasty, guys. In the comments below, I check it out all the time. Thank you so much to our 3 lovely guests. Guys, have you got anything to say before we say goodbye?
No,
let's go for it, folks.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's worth it. Worth it.
Yeah, keep going.
I could not have said it better myself. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to end with my catchphrase, not Ross's. Jo won't know this because she's not seen the other Petch Pals.
No.
So what we do is I will go, "Tar for coming." You will point at the camera and go, "You've been a right laugh."
All right.
If you've stopped coughing, that is.
Honestly, I'm really sorry.
Let's end this now before Jo ends up in hospital.
Yeah, kills off the chair.
So in 3, 2, 1, "Tar for coming."
You've been a right
Been a
laugh.
right laugh.
Yes!